Now, America, the judgment of white America cannot be ignored. The time and now, brothers and sisters, we are all tired of this game plan. America would just have to do justice by us or just let us go. I said America is in trouble. And I said God is about to wipe this nation from the face of this earth. Now listen. You see, I'm not crazy and I'm not drunk. But how long do you think that America that can do evil and not face the judgment and wrath of God? You see, they asked me this morning about the president, morality. Well, how you feel about the president that's moral? Well, I say, what kind of president that you ever had that was moral? You see, the founding fathers of this nation were slaveholders. You see, they rape black women and gave them babies, but never are their own children. When they framed the constitutions, there was never thinking of sex as a high crime and misdemeanor. The president disgraced the overall office of what he did with Monica Lewinsky. I said murder was found in this overall office. The killing of kings and rulers. You see, their nation and their governments was heads and outlaws and masters of assassinators. So when, my brothers and sisters, has this overall office ever been a moral place? So if my words frighten you, then wait till I finish. You see, many of us, we play with God. You see, we want God to be all loving and merciful. And yes, he loves us, all right. But he kills people out for that very same love. And see, you can put Hitler, Genghis Khan, Tabla Khan, Tamerlane. You can put them all in the same vote. But notice that they never killed as many people as God. But God kills and destroys people out of his love for righteousness. And he hates us, my brothers and sisters, when we refuse to bow down before it's too late. Now, how many of you, my brothers and sisters, have some good parents? You had a good mother, a good father, warn somebody in the community, warn a loved one. It says, hey, now, you're doing wrong. Now, please change from your behavior. And then all of a sudden, you get a little notice in the mail that they was dead. See, at least you can say, I tried all that I can. The young brother, he even tried all that he can. And when tears was flowing through this young brother's eyes, he done all that he can to warn you that death has now entered into America. One disaster after another. And oh, my brothers and sisters, get a grip. Now, what do you think this flood is? See, what do you think this wind is? And see, what do you think the unusual rain and unusual snow and the violent winds and the pestilence? You see, famine is here. And more famine is on its way. And Mickey D's won't be able to give you a burger. And the Bible says you will look at your own fat children. Very strange. Because America, she's in the grip of a divine judgment. And if you like to be caught in her snare, as he set the snare for ancient Babylon. So America is caught in the same snare as ancient Babylon. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says America is surrounded with the four great judgments. And he says the four great judgment you are witnessing sin, rain, hail, earthquakes, fire, and many other related pledge. She's in the grip of a divine judgment that she won't escape. And that tons and millions of tons of water is going to drop. So you have to know what's happening, because it's coming near where you live. You see, no one is going to escape the judgment and wrath of God. Now, I represent Jesus. Your popes, poor fella, he says that he's a member of Jesus. Oh Lord, he's got to clean up his house. Brothers, sisters, we are living under the shadow of death all day long. And we, the black lost found of our people here in America, live under a shadow of death by ways of cowardly enemies. Every one of us, the cowardly enemy, seeks our death one way or another. The cowardly enemy will not fight you as a brave man will fight you. If they think that they will fight back, they will steal on you when you least expect an attack from them. We live under a shadow of death. You flee the cowardly enemy, the devil of the south, seeking refuge and the same cowardly enemy, the brother in the north. The enemy, the devil of the south, follow us to the north to see that his brother in the north does not treat us any better than they did in the south. They seek police jobs so that they can beat us and kill us who are trying to escape. They seek to get us killed at any price. They do not care about our loyalty to them. In their hearts, there's death for us, the black man in America. Today, they hold out promises to you only to deceive you. They know that God is here, offers to set us in heaven at once. And since hell is their appointed place, they are trying to get us to go to hell with them on false promises. I have told you, believe it or let it alone. Live under the shadow of death. Babies murdered. Today, we read and hear that white America is agreeing to kill unborn babies. They have set up a law for it. This is the worst sin that you can agree on, to have your babies killed before its birth. What are you going to do that for? He tried to put out an unformed story that you are getting to be too many people. And we had to cut the birth rates. Who needs to cut down the birth rates? The black people have no need to cut down. They need to increase the birth rates. The earth and the heaven around the earth are ours. Who is going to go hungry? Do you not read the past history of how the righteous always the winners and victorious people? So will we be the winners and victorious people. We are not thinking of anyone making us hungry unless it is a lie of God. He came to feed us, as it is written. My righteous servant shall eat, but you shall go hungry. And American hunger is starting at you now, unemployment. You cannot buy the house that you used to buy, where you had nothing to buy it with. This is why I plead with you to come and join up with me and let us go to the earth and grow our food, and not to go walk around the city with a basket for the devil to drop food into. See, he will not help you, for he will not have any food to drop into his own basket. He have not only food store, but he have clothes store. He have plenty of this, but that does not mean that he cannot come into hunger and nakedness. If Allah God strikes at him, Allah God bring the wicked into desolation before they can get started to strike back. Murdering the black babies. The only one he should be thinning out is himself. The earth belongs to the black people. What do we look like cutting down on our birth rates? Is there any narrowing of the earth for us? The earth is being expanded for us. There's plenty of earth for us. For Allah God will clear the earth of its wicked population. All of those places will be taken by the Muslims. My God, to pay attention to a white man and let him slaughter the baby before and after their birth. This will be like what the fire worshippers did. who worshiped the fire god, Moloch. They took their babies and threw them to the fire to be burnt up, to show the sincerity of the god of fire. And are you going to enemy of the black man to have him deprive you of giving birth to a black baby, to let him kill it in your worship of him? Do not you think that you are acting like a mighty big fool? I think that you are. This is our earth. How they squeeze it up so that there is no place to live except to kill off black people. No black brothers and black sisters. I hope that you read this. Understand that we, the black people, are the true owners. And Allah God is giving our earth back to us. This is what he means, as well as the spiritual religion of us. He said, accept your own. This is our earth. He is telling you to accept it. He will give it to you. The Bible teaches that the meek shall inherit the earth. The humble, poor people that will get the earth, for it belongs to them. We have parables in the Bible which the writer of the history of Jesus tells us was spoken by Jesus. The parable of the lost sheep and the son, the return and became owners. That's only mean you and me. Why do not we take our place? Why should we give our babies to the enemy to be destroyed? Because he says he had nothing to feed them with. Follow me and I'll show you. You get more houses than you need, more money than you can spend. Help me, brothers. Allah God will not deprive you of your good reward. Know that you understand. We do for Allah God. He will do it for us. In this day and time, we're all tired. The wicked and the righteous are both tired. What sin has the poor black baby done for you? To murder it in your room. He had done nothing. Will come back to you in a terrifying way. Your consciences will condemn you for doing such. All of our evil will come before us. Let us not be such fools as to think that we have to cast our babies into the arm of a murderer, to murder them for excuse that he needs to do so in order to feed and house you. No place is crowded but the cities. There's plenty of room in the countries. The black men have never had a problem. Look at China and India. They do not destroy their babies just because they do not have money. They try to have means to take care of them. China take care of her population. India does not take care of hers because she depends on Britain and other white people. We must remember that the white race have no part, no share in our earth. They only have time to live on our earth. They did not have a share of actual earth itself. So let us not kill our black people for just the action of a murderer who was made to murder us. I warn you, do not think hard of him for doing what he was made for. But I do fault you for following him and what he was made for. When Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy spoke out for Negroes, from the death of Abraham Lincoln to the assassination of President Kennedy, it proved that on each one of these occasions was outlaws, overruled it legal authorities. It was in the case of presidents who opened their mouths. It says something favorable for the so-called Negro. I'm not saying that this was the reason President Kennedy was assassinated, but it seemed very strange that every president who says something favorable for the so-called Negro paid for it with his life. We also can suscitate this by the facts that any Negro wants to lead the so-called Negro to a better life, towards truth, peace, freedom, justice, and equality, which he is entitled to enjoy, is also subject to the same kind of assassination or attempt at assassination. I know these to be facts. There are some who seem not to want a true freedom, who also speak unfavorable and plan unfavorable actions against those who dare to lead a true struggle for justice and equality. The tragic death of President Kennedy should serve as a warning to all rulers. People of value, their values cannot be trusted openly in the presence of thieves and robbers. There have never been a president elected to such high office who had the heart of everyone for him. And never was there a king who had the people wholeheartedly with him, regardless of how good the king, the president, prime minister, or the spokesman for the king or president. There may be some people who do not like the high officials holding the top office of the nation. I think that they should be well protected and all precautionary steps should be taken to ensure such person safety. Riding in open car or riding openly in the public is usually a needless risk taken by anyone holding such high office, especially when they are political officials. Those spiritual teachers, such as prophets of God and messengers, their life had not been spared to the public according to recorded history of the lives of these characters. They are both friends and enemies in the public service. You must be aware of them. Such outlaw action permitted in America is a disgrace and shame to the governments and to people who are recognized as world leaders, an example of what others should do in the way of friendship and cooperations. With the great scientific advancements that America has made, it does not seem possible in this modern time that the tragedy that took place on the 22nd November should have happened. This is a long way from the assassination of President William McKinley. There are 62 years between the two assassinations of the presidents of the United States of America, and with such great advancements in the science of protection, these things should have never happened. Again, it shows to the world that the governments of America and its people are actually given to such outlaws and violent actions to take human life at will, disregarding their own legal laws against such action. It makes the country be classified as a country of governments, the outlaws, where people have no safety of their life under laws which claim to safeguard the life of human beings. The natural election. The black man of America have been privileged by the slave master children for the last centuries to vote for rights, for office to judge and rule. This freedom to vote had made the black man in America feel very dignified and proud of himself. He goes to the poll very happy to vote for a white ruler. Today, he is gradually changing the desire to vote for his own kind for such office of authority. We must remember that our vote is strong and powerful only when and where the white man can use it to get in the office over his white opponent. After election and the victory, there are very few favors that come from his office to a black voter who help and aid him in getting in office. Why? Because he did not own the black voters anything as long as he had to feed, clothe, and shelter him. The black votes could be cash or not cash. The right citizens of the governments are going to win, continue to rule anyway. There is much talk of this man, and that man who shall the vote of the people put. in the White House for the next 4 years? How much good had the two parties, Republicans and Democrats, done for us for the last centuries in the way of freedom, justice, and equality? Regardless of what party wins, the die is always set against us, the black people in America. Unjust politics and the breathing of corruption under politics have been practiced ever since Adam to the present day ruler. See, Adam was the first. There have not been justice for the black man and his race of people. This is why the race suffered from the effect of today. There are black politicians who would like to use their black people for selfish greed and will throw them behind any crop with money. Black politicians of this type have sold their black brothers to suffer shame for self-evaluation. This election is one of the most serious in the history of American governments because neither party that seeks the office of presidency is faced with the problems of saving lives of the people of America. If the present party Democrat remain in office, you know the answer. If the Republican Party take over, you should know the answer. There will be a lull before the storm. The storm can be delayed in every hour and day that it can be delayed. It's to your benefit. The black man should be very serious and careful about his voting because 90% of the black voters cast are cast by one who do not have the knowledge of what they are casting their votes for. I still said, as I have said for many years, vote for Allah God to be a ruler and come follow me. The dead are rising, they seek their own. The dead are we, the black one slave of this white man of America. We are mentally dead people. We are dead to the knowledge of self and others. The knowledge of self has now come to us from God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. The knowledge of self has now come to us from God, who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is a man. His teaching brings us into reality and not into some kind of spooky spirit or ghost-like teachings. Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, is the all-rise living God. We desire that we see him as he is, a human being, and not something beyond the families of human beings spooks him. We can never ask a form of spirit to lead us because we are not a form of spirit ourselves. Man can only listen to man. Man cannot listen to other than man and have proof. We just Nabal was able to obey anyone but ourselves. We the lost, dead, mentally are coming into a knowledge of life. When we learn this lesson of the living, it will destroy the brief and other than ourselves, bringing us up in slavery time, putting us into a mental death was something that the slave master and his children did because of the desire to make us into something that was other than the truth in order to be able to keep our minds enslaved it. From the visit of God and the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, the time now hath come to us as it is written. On the day of judgment, we shall see God as he is. You don't know who he is. He was born before your mama. That's why you don't know who he is, because he was born before your mama. Muhammad speaks the time of this hour, this judgment of white America. See, judgment have come to America. And it will not be delayed It will not go into postpone. So Greg, you can hate all you want. Greg, I said you can hate all you want. You can hate all you want, but you don't know the truth. So let me go on and present it to you. As Jesus says, you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The judgment of white America cannot be ignored and will not be ignored it. Now let's get on the time now has come to us. As it is written that on the day of judgment we shall see God as he is. The rise of the dead does not by any means what you and I was taught when we was little boys or little girls. And even while we was little boys or little girls and man and woman age, we are still pushed on the baby side. Understanding of the truth. We the black people are no longer babies. We are babies to no one except God himself. You are fast learning that you are not babies anymore, but when you rise up from the dead knowledge of black self and others. Nah, I won't never let this go. I won't never, you know why? Because as being a chosen one here, you gotta prophesize this. Let people know that our fall is near. I'm gonna still prophesize this till this fallen America comes to an end. I'm gonna still prophesize this till these pledges are lightly boiling and it's coming near a city where some of you may live. When it comes to, tectonic plates, when it comes to these seismic activities, earthquakes, volcano eruption, know that her judgment is here. So I said, we as a black people are no longer babies. See, we are babies to no one except God himself. See, you are fast learning that you are not babies anymore, but when you rise up from the dead knowledge of black self and others, you are learning fast that Allah God is fast in creating us in a new way of thinking. From the way in which we have been thinking was in the way of untruth and unseeming way of understanding. America is a country where evil is dominant, and people in America think nothing but evil. It is very solemn that you can talk to a person without getting a thought quickly that their mind is filled with evil. But the black people in America are called the dead spiritually. And we, the black people in America, now desire to make for ourselves something better than what the slave master children have made of us. We want to make something better of ourselves than what the slave master children still do make of us. Look at many people who used to be stage actors, who are now forsaking the stage as being a mockery to them, and are now former stage actors who want to be seen and convert with as civilized black people, and not as some kind of a stage actor. The white stage actors are with some sense because they are civilized. A meaningless act is not enjoyed by people who are intelligently learned into the knowledge of civilization. But the poor black men in America have no knowledge of any civilization. But the white men have gotten to all of the civilized people there. And he knows them. And they know him. This is why now a war between civilization must take place. Because the present ruler right race have deceived the whole entire civilized world with their civilization of deceits. The white race was made for the purpose of making mischief. The white race was made for the purpose of deceit. And now that Almighty God has come to make manifest, which has been hidden of the truth, just run the white man from under his deceitful blanket, which have the white man covered. And as the Bible teaches us, see, God will pull the cover off of the cover and show the nation his white race shame. And the white men have not been uncovered by Almighty God Allah, came in the person of Master Flah Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. I do not see any cover left from the white man's skins. But Allah God's pulling the cover off of this white race. This make it possible for us, the black people, who is dead to the knowledge of truth, to see the natural characteristics of this deadly white enemy of the black man. Now we can stun our enemies like we do a rattlesnake. When we see the rattlesnake or hear his rattle sting, we begin to try and seek cover for the rattlesnake if we are unable to kill. If we know his deadly sting. But this snake, right races have overtaken us. He has bitten us so many times that we have become so poisoned from his poison getting into our blood from his sting that it has taken God now to come to prevent the snake from continuing to sting us. And Allah God has that cure for being bitten by the snake. He would separate both of us from being involved with each other so that the snake poison sting will not affect us. The black men in America have never knew anyone but the white race. Therefore, the black men seek pacification and mercy from their people. So you cannot blame the white man for what he is. You cannot blame him for being what he is. See, the white people was made the people that they are. And the white men have made us the black men other than our own self. See, at the present time, we are not like we were when we was created in the beginning. In the beginning, we was created right, and then we were deceived by the deceiver who was made a deceiver by nature. Our black people are rising up, and we are happy to rise to the knowledge of self and others. The rise of the dead will be like the blast of a trumpet pretty soon. The black people will come into a knowledge of themselves so fast that it will look like the rise of the dead has taken place at once. Just love to look at my black people now, and all of them are rising, and listen to them talk. See how much different they are. My black people must get out of the white man's name. My black people must be qualified to enter the real original names of Almighty God, Allah. Come to the temple of Islam. Learn all about yourself. And to learn all about yourself, you'll be able to take those who enslave you and warp them around your little fingers. You will not feel them on your little fingers until you see them on your little fingers and snake them off. Allah God loves you, and I love you. We want to build up this world for ourselves, to live in this world in peace and happiness. The resurrection of our people. The old world must be removed to make way for a new world. There's a universal struggle being waged by the old world against the beginning of a new world. Will the old world opposition prevent the establishment of the new world? According to recorded history, the effort being made by the old world against the beginning of a new world will fail as their former opponents of Allah. According to the history of Noah, the people ridiculed the very thoughts of Allah, bringing a flood to drown them. Noah was laughed at and succumbed for preaching such a doctrine. According to the Bible and Holy Quran, he was called a liar and looked upon as a crazy person. Some of the members of Noah's family joined the mockers and disbelievers of Allah and his messengers, who was Noah. They met the same fate as the others who disbelieved it. The opposition of that world to the event of a better world was total, a failure. So shall it be with those today who oppose the beginning of a new world of righteousness, Islam. In the time of Abraham and his nephew Lot, before the birth of Ismail and Isaac, Abraham, two sons of people mockers and haters of truth and righteousness in that part of the world. See, the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah had become victimized to every imaginable evil, even threatened the life of the preacher of righteousness Lot. Disregarding strangers, the angel visited Lot until it was too late. So it is with the opponents of the messenger of Allah today in America. The wicked always believe that they are mightier than Allah, and they make a supreme effort to thwart the plan and purpose of God to bring about a better world. They always love to attack the messengers, try to condemn him as a liar. Trying to prove the messenger a liar, mean calling Allah a liar. Holy Quran prophesies a miserable, shameful, and disgraceful defeat for the disbelievers and hypocrites in a campaign against the last messengers of Allah, whom Allah will rise in the time of the resurrection of the dead people. The messengers are never sent. They are always rise in the midst of those whom Allah will warn. So they can't claim that they did not understand the language of the messengers or say that he was a foreigner or a stranger. The messenger is one for them. For nearly 34 years, I have served you just as Allah, a warner of old, served a hard-headed, disbelieving people who was great lovers and enemies of Allah and the true religion of Islam, which means entire submission to Allah's will. There is mockery and evil plans are made against my life by the wicked, just as there was made against Noah, the prophet. The powerful, rich world of Christianity, especially America, is made to seem as movable as the mountains. But it is not impossible to remove mountains. They can be removed by high explosive. So wealth and power also can be reduced to nothing. We are now living in the judgment of doom of the white man's world. Preparations have been made to meet every effort by the white man to oppose the beginning and setting up of Allah's new world, a righteous Islam. The government, USA today, watch my followers with an evil eye, seeking to deceive anyone who would enter the fold to help further the cause of truth and the upliftment of the mourning heads and the grieving hearts of the American so-called to help make them a nation of righteousness and justice to serve as a star for the nation of their own kind forever. The U.S. government is active in its deceitful work of trying to slow the progress of the resurrection of our people. America rights want us to reject Allah God and the true religion of Islam and believe in their false religions and false gods whom they cannot make manifest to you. They cannot prove to you in this day and time that Christianity is a decent for you, as well as for themselves against their doom. America must be taken and destroyed, according to the prophet, at the time and end of the wicked world, where the lost and found members of the ancient people are found. America hates and mistreats her slave to the extent that it has reached the hearts of Allah and the righteous people of the earth, the nation of Islam. We read where our black brothers refer to American so-called nigger as their brother, while according to the preaching of some of these lost and found members of the nation of the earth, they rather have themselves referred to as their brothers of their enemies. The extent to which the enemy have poisoned the minds and hearts of my people here in America is shameful. They willfully do anything to deceive the so-called to going to their doom with them. There is no way for the enemy of Allah, his messengers, his people, the darker people of the earth to find strength, power and wisdom enough to win in a war against Allah, as it is written in the Christian Bible and many other places. For the days of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and you with the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. Elements shall melt with a fervent heat. Earth also and the work therein shall be burnt up. The Bible, Peter, chapter 3, verse 10. The earth shall not be burnt up. It will be here for many thousand years to come. Only that on the earth the devil would just sin against Allah, and his laws will be destroyed. The earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars had never disobeyed Allah since their creation. The opposer of truth. Adam, Eve, the father and mother of the white race, refused the religion of Islam peace because of their nature in which they was made. This make it impossible for the white man to submit to Allah and obey his laws of righteousness. This is the law-found members of the nation. From the tribe, we must learn of the right race that it is a race of time to seek mercy and justice from a people who by nature do not have it for each other. They talk and preach the goodness of God and his prophets only to deceive you, who by nature are the God of righteousness, and to fall them away from our God to a God who does not exist. See, our future is at stake. 99% of us do not know it, but every evil spooner around you seeking an excuse do their worst to you. Make it hard for the 99% ignorant to ever know the truth. The great desire is to prevent you from ever accepting the truth. They claim the truth, but they hate real teachings. They seek any kind of charge to place against us to get revenge for our preaching the truth. They trap our telephones and follow us around from place to place. And you tape recording machines and the hypocrite stool pigeons amongst us, keep them up to date on what we say and do. They are bold enough to even ask your own relatives to help them to do evil and due to fear and intimacy on the parts of my poor people. Enemy hired them to destroy themselves. See, truth hurts the guilty. Will persecution, murdering the truth, bears up the evildoers in this late hour of their day, the end of their time? Our problem must be solved, says Allah, the God of righteousness, who is with you and me to raise us up, the poor law-found members, the original owners of the planet Earth. The tribe, a good solution is as follows. Stop opposing the spread of Islam peace amongst us. Let us go back to our God, Allah, and our religion of Islam peace. Since you will not give us the so-called equal justice and do not want social mixing with your free slave because of degrading and lowering your own status in the eyes of the world, help us to go for ourselves, neither out or in your countries. For 400 years we have served you with our labor, sweat, blood, the last of your whoop, the killing, lynching, burning of our innocent black flesh, without even a hearing in the court of justice, nor even our murders being punished. Although we are marched before your enemies, and there we pour out our life for the freedom of your life children in your country. Return home to meet even worse enemy. We are hated and kicked out in certain places like an unwanted dog who have caught the game. Who was not given a taste of it, only that with the hunter could not and should not eat himself. The dog, being too ignorant to recognize the injustice done to him by his master, would jump to his feet again at the call of his master to offer his life for his master's life. This we have and are still doing for you. You are not wanted in your better neighborhoods. In many places, we have to be guarded and protected by your armed forces in order to live in a house which one of your kind has sold to us. Yet we are the most peaceful and honest of the population. We are taxed equally and perhaps more than those of our own kind, who are the real citizen owners of this country, America, through our labors and the labors of our Father made and built it for you. Think over. Millions of us working, fighting, dying at your hands and others for 400 years without a home which we can call home, not being allowed to worship our God religion, nor have unity among self and our kind without being charged with the worst crime and seeking to overthrow the governments by force, though we had no arm to do such, just to have an excuse for you persecuting, seeking to kill the slain, poor, 400-year-old slave. The deceivers and the deceived. The whole nation of the lost found members of the black nation in America must remember that for the past 400 years, we have been wearied by the enemies of our fathers, according to their own history right, bringing us and our native lands and people into the western hemisphere was not for the purpose of making themselves friendly people to us and our nation, but deceive us as being that which they actually were, not a friend and advisor to us, while at the same time depriving us of truth, justice, and equality, even now after 400 years of servitude, slavery. We must remember that the deceiver has actually deceived us. The coming of God and the person of Master Fly Muhammad, whom praise are due forever, is to make manifest the arch deceiver work against us and to equip us with the nature of the arch deceiver that deceits is part of his very nature. The Allah come to give us the knowledge of the God of evil who have freedom for the past 6,000 years to deceive not only you and me, but also the entire nation of the earth. This is the greatest starvation that God, Allah, could bring to you and me to know the source of our trouble and cause. The power of the manifestator is to remove this cause which has affected the black nation for 6,000 years. The deceivers and the deceived. So we must know that this is the time of the hour of judgment. She don't have a future for you, nor she have a future for herself. So this is the time that you're going to have to take in consideration. Thinking you have long can be always the greatest mistake people will make. The time of judgment have come. And you see people will make the worst mistakes, careless mistakes. Like in the day of Noah, in the day of Lot, so shall it be in the coming day of the Son of Man.